it was about your fight or flight and conflict.
The amygdala.
And,
Yep, and how you
and
respond to it. Because
right.
everything in life is how you respond, not the circumstance itself. It's how you respond to the circumstance.
And it was so beautifully written about the fact that when you are having a situation, when you're feeling out of control or you're not liking it, like I don't like confrontations. Why is it that I'm not liking the confrontation? What is it about this confrontation that is triggering me? Or what am I triggering in this person? And how do we come to an agreement as human beings to agree to disagree and discover what is this uncomfortableness? Because we talk about people are mirrors, right?
Yeah.
So avoiding confrontation sometimes can get dangerous because you're also avoiding something that you need to heal from.
Well, and where's your power in avoidance? I mean, sometimes it's great to walk away from things.
Of
That's
course.
a choice. Walking away is a choice. Avoidance is a disempowerment.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Authentic Conversations. If this is your first time joining us, well, welcome. And if you are a repeated guest, thank you so much for joining us. I am here with Susan, my co-host, and I am Amarelis. Hello, Susan.
Hello, Amaryllis.
Okay, I'm fixing my mic. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, today's one of those days.
Could you get your mic together? Oh, I don't know. Getting
Oh,
life together, getting our mic together, getting whatever together.
it's always about energy and getting ourselves together.
We're
It's
always a work in progress, and we're always trying to get ourselves together. Really cool though. Here's something I read about the strawberry moon. So
mm,
like it's June, June is the strawberry moon, and it was just interesting to me. Like it's not even so much that it's the moon, but um the full moon shows us that it's ultimately about truth. It teaches us that we begin to appreciate the wisdom gained from some of the harder roads we've walked, and it becomes easier to choose new ones. Instead of fearing what could happen, we understand that anything could happen at any time, and we will make the most of it, right? If you're served lemons, you make lemonade.
right.
So, like, why do we want to spoil, this one lifetime by getting hung up on something that stops us from growing, that stops us from being authentic or genuine, whether it's fear or jealousy or hurt or anger, it's like, why do we want to get stuck when there are so many things that we can be paying attention to that are working for us, that are working out? It's always working out. It's not like if we worry about what might happen, then we spend all our time worrying. If we live our life and something happens, we have to trust that we're prepared for that, or that we have the tools or the skills or whatever it is to be able to navigate. And if we don't have the tools or skills to navigate, then who do we look for? Those people.
Yeah.
Those people that will lift you up, those people that will provide support, hold space, offer insight, the ones that know you best.
And yourself, you know
Yeah.
yourself best, which
Well,
is that's the number one, aside from
yeah,
finding that, because it's a fine line when we start looking for gratitude or certification from others, which
right.
is why we are having the situation of judging ourselves and wanting to check the box. So I'm this age, am I where I need to be, instead of just sitting and having at the time with your higher self
Well,
and
you can
trusting.
support yourself. You can navigate through anything that's handed your way because, I mean, there's nothing that's insurmountable. I mean, uh, the biggest fear people have is death, but like that's an inevitable anyway. So why do you worry about something that's inevitable? So, but I think what I'm saying is that, like in yoga class, right? Somebody can't access a posture, but they don't want to use the block because the block makes them look less capable. So they're more worried about how it looks than they are about navigating through it.
right? And growing to the next level. So you're blocking yourself from that energy and your judgments, which we talk about again, right, Don Miguel? What others think. We're worried about what others are thinking about us.
It
And
shuts us
that
down.
block,
It shuts us down.
yeah, that block is just helping you. And then in 3 weeks or 2 weeks or maybe 1 week, you might not need that block to support you.
That's
Just
right.
like asking for help. You might not need that person to help you any longer because you figured it out on your own. You maybe need that conversation of just having somebody who can hold space. When
Right.
we have these conversations, the last time we recorded, repeating the story held space for me to see it even clearer. And there's a moment where you have to be careful with like repeating the same thing, like this happened to me, like it was a bad thing, when it's like I learned this.
This happened for me. Nothing is ever happening to you. It's all happening for you. So are
Right.
you recognizing? So everything comes with light and darkness, right? Everything, the things that we look at and we label good also have an undercurrent of some things that may not be good for, other people or in general, right? But
Yeah.
we're noticing the good. The things that are happening where we're only noticing the bad, we're not necessarily seeing the silver lining or the light in the darkness or the, the flame or the destruction that created the new opportunity. It's like, how are we looking at it?
What lens are you looking through? The lens of love, the lens of judgment? Is the glass half full? Is the glass half empty? I mean, we've said this again and again, guys, and I know it's so simple. It's so complicated because being in the moment is hard. Go ahead, Susan, you have something.
Well, yeah, because the hardest thing is, and you said this earlier, the hardest thing is that we keep retelling the story. So are we retelling it from a victim mentality, or are we retelling it from a I see the light mentality? And it's fine to retell the story if you're retelling it to lift you up, or you're retelling it for clarity or deeper understanding, or you're retelling it to yourself or to someone else so that you can see something that you might not have seen the first time you told it. It's very different than getting caught in the monologue of retelling the story of being the victim, of being the victim, of being the victim. One elevates your energy and the other stagnates your energy. So do we want to be stuck in misery and find other people to commiserate with us? Or do we want to truly take the seat of the witness, which means step outside of the emotional attachment to the circumstance and look at it for what it is? Because it's only
Amen.
becomes something when we attach the emotion to it.
I'm trying. I was just reading this morning, Susan, and I'm trying to see if I could find it because of course I didn't mark it. And it's in this book where I was just like, wow, we were just talking about this. And it was about, I'm not gonna find it now, but it was about your fight or flight in conflict.
The amygdala.
And
Yep. And how you
and
respond to it. Because
right.
everything in life is how you respond, not the circumstance itself. It's how you respond to the circumstance.
And it was so beautifully written about the fact that when you are having a situation, when you're feeling out of control or you're not liking it, like I don't like confrontations. Why is it that I'm not liking the confrontation? What is it about this confrontation that is triggering me? Or what am I triggering in this person? And how do we come to an agreement as human beings to agree to disagree and discover what is this uncomfortableness? Because we talk about, people are mirrors, right?
Yeah.
So if you don't want it, avoiding confrontation sometimes can get dangerous because you're also avoiding something that you need to heal from.
Well, and where's your power in avoidance? I mean, sometimes it's great to walk away from things.
Of
That's
course,
a choice. Walking away is a choice. Avoidance is a, disempowerment.
there's a difference.
A big difference.
And I realized in reading this chapter, I was like, oh wow, like I know when I don't like that energy, that gut feeling when things are getting hairy or when there's a conversation. So how do I learn to grow? But it's when you're feeling afraid or like when it's just feeling uncomfortableness, sit in the uncomfortableness, figure out like, what is this? What is this bringing up for me? Is this something that happened before that I need to
What is
heal
it
from?
similar to? What is it like? What does it remind me of? And what it reminds you of is usually something that made you uncomfortable also. So it's great to connect the dots.
Yeah, and it's part of life. We decided to be here in this moment and we need to embrace it. So back to what you're talking about, the full circles, that we know that death is happening, it's inevitable. And so if we're here in this world, how do we guide each other? How do we work with each other as human beings, being in the moment, support each other? You know, sometimes we're running late, sometimes we're not. We said we were going to do something, and how do you see that through the lens of love and care and putting yourself in empathy, putting yourself in that person's shoe, so that you can uplift them, so that you can also be lifted. Like, it's a
Right.
give and take, and it's a blind date situation. You know, today you give thanks, it's being grateful that you're back with one day again of wisdom of what happened in the past, but not staying too much in the past, learning and saying, being
Using
here.
that to create a better present. That's the gift, pun
Yay.
intended.
Yeah, a better present, you know, because we could really just stay stuck in that past hamster wheel.
Yeah.
We're back to they
They,
did this to me, and because this happened to
I'm the
me,
victim. So I'm going to
I
tell
happen
myself
to do
that
this.
story over and over and over and over again. And every time I tell it, I'm going to embellish it and I'm going to feel more victimized.
You know,
Instead,
I
yeah.
have, sorry, I remember the conversations where I've had in my life where there's been big situations where I've had to make a decision for myself, and I've used the word, I'm sounding like a broken record, and something that comes through spirit, that's my higher self reminding me to say, okay, what are you doing about this? If the situation continues to happen, and it keeps continuing to happen, whether that situation is being in a bad relationship, whether that situation is being in a job that I'm unhappy, or in a situation that I'm not comfortable with. And the more that I keep telling my friends, whoever that person, those people that you talk to, right? And then having someone who's holding space for me, and then I'll say, oh, God, I think I've said this to you so many times, I sound like a broken record. It always makes me, it gives me this shift where I
Clarity.
was like,
Mhm.
so what's next?
Yeah.
You know, whether it's afraid, the fear of leaving that job, the fear of breaking somebody's heart because it was a relationship that I knew I had to let go. I
Listen,
had to walk out of it.
the next generation will never know a broken record, but what is it? It's when the needle gets stuck. Right? So when you get stuck and stuck and stuck, and then when you have the awareness that you're stuck, it's like a broken record. I keep telling myself the same story and it doesn't make me feel any better and I'm not getting anywhere from it. I'm stuck. Yeah.
And then in I see my this is, guys, this is how much it is to me. I'm, you know, we're very Susan, please tell me again, what are, when we say, when you're like, you can see, you can hear your
Oh,
voice.
clairaudient, clairsentient, clairvoyant. Yes.
Yeah, so that's a whole other podcast there. But guys, you know, some of us can see things, some of us can feel when we walk in the room. I'm very vocal. I love to talk. I love to, you know, I meditate. I realize that meditations with sound works so much better for me because my throat chakra, there's the sounding that connects to me. So the more you do this work, the more you start uncovering things about yourself. You're ringing in your ear. That's alignment. That's energy coming through to you. It pause. It reminds you throughout the day. I've lately been taking so many pauses, and I'm so thankful for them because it's been through the work that you and I work, the work you do, Susan, reminding us about the breath
Right.
and sitting in the breath and the quietness. And sometimes if quietness doesn't work, if music is what works for you, which is sound, that's what you
The
need.
vibration, silence is
Move,
vibration too.
yes, movement. If you need to move so that you can move that energy so that it comes clarity. And then you're in the shower. Guys, most of the great ideas happen in the shower. Why? Because you're taking that time to not be focused about what the laundry list in the grocery. You're just being in the moment. And
Yeah.
we want to complicate in the moment so much because we think it has to be so what they advertise on Instagram, peacefulness. Look at the background, right? Like, no, I am not right now in a place to meditate. It's what it is, being in the moment,
You
right?
can meditate anywhere, girl.
Anywhere, guys, anywhere you can meditate, anywhere you can take that pause, anywhere where the signs are coming through for you. If you believe it's a sign from however your beliefs are, take it because it's true. It's real.
Yeah,
And
everything passes through your intuition. It passes through your knowing. You have a knowing, gnawing, nagging feeling inside of you that something needs to change. The truth is, something needs to
something
change.
to change.
You
Yeah.
know, and sometimes we have to sit with that nagging, gnawing until we're ready, and sometimes we have to do it even when we're not ready because things change.
And that's where the trust and faith come in. That's when you just need to know, I don't know what, and that's where sometimes you might not have to tell everybody your plans.
That's right.
When we moved to Florida, I was not going to tell that I was moving with my whole family without having a place because judgment and people's fears come in.
That's right.
They think
But
they're
things are
protecting
working
you.
for you. Aren't they always working for you? I
Yeah.
mean, as
Yeah.
much as we can choose to look at,
Yeah. Yeah, and we listen to what works, and then you have to keep in mind that other people's fears can come through. It's not about you fixing them. You just can listen, hold space for them, and they will hold space for you too in the way that they can.
Right.
So, guys, we are in a new month, a lot of new energy coming up. Again, we're feeling that vibes of being out in nature. Please, those of you that don't get nature like I do all year round, now where I'm at, use it. Grounding, take your
Sunshine,
shoes
vitamin
off,
C.
walk on the ground, walk on grass, go to the beach, feel that energy of the earth. Don't forget that the earth is here for us.
And we're
It's
created from the same energy, we're designed from the same energy. The universe was created in all of its likeness.
So
So the
that's where we connect. So we connect back with feelings, our five senses, and then, with those that are around us.
water, fire, air, and earth, right? The four elements.
Yes. So do what you need to get yourself back to an alignment and being in that moment and surrounding yourself with the people that support you.
And telling
So,
yourself the story that lifts you, that doesn't victimize you.
amen. That's it.
Circumstances and situations are just that, circumstances and situations. Your attachment to them, your response to them is the only thing you have control over.
Yes. And it will get better. I can't believe it. It's been a week. God, last week it was horrible. I'm back. I'm okay.
It's temporary. It's temporary. So
Temporary, guys, but our mind doesn't take it. So thank you everyone for joining us, and where to find us. We would love the fact that you're supporting our channel. It's so important. We don't say it enough. We do appreciate the fact that you're sharing our channel and our content. Hopefully it's helping you or something that you feel like is helping another person. You can find us on podcast, Spotify, and we also have it on YouTube, and we have an Instagram channel. So thank you for all the love.
have a great day.
Bye.